Jayam Spasprayam Sadasman Bhaktividdhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Please Gaur Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gaur Govinath Sam Kunda Radha Kunda Girijodan ki jai. वृंदावन धाम की जय, नवद्वीप धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, स्वामी द भक्तवृंद की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Thank you very much.
Part 5. Satyaki contends with Somadatta and Drona. Elsewhere on the battlefield, Somadatta encountered Satyaki. Enraged at the slaughter of his son, the Kuru leader Somadatta bellowed, "Why, O Satvata hero, have you forgotten the religious codes of warfare and taken to evil practices? How can a virtuous person strike someone who has laid aside his weapons? This will only lead to your downfall, O mean-minded one. Now you will have to suffer the consequences of your vile act. And so I swear by my two sons that I will either kill you or be killed by you today. And if this does not come to pass, then may I fall into dreadful hell. Stand ready, you wretch, for I will now let go my deadliest weapons." Somadatta then blew his conchal and roared like a lion. Satyaki was infuriated by his speech and thundered back at him, "O descendant of Kuru, I am not afraid of you or your empty words. Why should one conversant with Kshatriya duty quake when confronted by such threats? Fight to your utmost power, either alone or with your supporters. Still, I will slay you. I killed your son along with many other powerful Kurus. Indeed, they have all been slain by the anger of the virtuous and ever-truthful Yudhishthir. Having chosen him as your enemy, you too will follow the path that they have taken. O Lord of men, guard yourself. For I swear by Krishna's lotus feet, and I swear by all my past pious acts, that today I will kill you." Both men then began to discharge volleys of arrows. Observing the fight from a distance, Duryodhana sent a large division of horsemen to support his old uncle. 10,000 of them hemmed in Satyaki, covering him with arrows. Drishtadyumna saw Satyaki's position and came to his aid, along with a great force of Pandava warriors. A deafening tumult arose as the two armies met. Somadatta concentrated his attack on Satyaki, sending a cluster of blood-sucking shafts at him. But the Vrishni hero responded with arrows which pierced Somadatta's armor and made him swoon. And so his chariot driver carried him away from the battle. Drona then rushed into the battle, hoping to slay Satyaki. Shouting out his battle cry, he hurled powerful weapons at the Vrishni warrior, who was now contending with thousands of other fighters surrounding him. Yudhishthira and the twins, seeing Satyaki under attack by Drona, roared in anger and entered the fight. They assailed Drona from all sides, diverting his attack from Satyaki. Bhima and Drishtadyumna then joined them, while Duryodhana, Karna, and Kripa Acharya came to support the Kauravas. With the heroes on both sides, backed by numerous troops, a fierce and confused fight then ensued. Arrows, darts, lances, and other weapons flew through the air. Maces collided in showers of sparks, and swords clashed. Wrathful warriors hacked and lunged at each other. The heads, limbs, and entrails of the slain warriors covered the ground. With screams and roars, they fell upon each other, blinded by rage. Part 6. Ashvatthama overcomes Ghatotkacha. Some ways off, Ghatotkacha was moving across the battlefield. The Rakshasa was mounted on an 8-wheeled chariot made of black iron and spread with bearskins. Furnished with all types of weapons, it emitted a terrifying noise as it moved across the field. It was a celestial chariot and was drawn by beasts from the underworld who resembled elephants but who had horns and blazing red eyes. And on its banner was a great black vulture with outspread wings and feet, and it gave off frightful screeches. Around its sides were red flags and rows of bones. Ghatotkacha stood on the chariot like a dark mountain, with his long fangs, arrow-shaped ears, unnatural eyes, and bald head. Ghatotkacha's sight sent the Kaurava troops dashing away in terror. Ghatotkacha was surrounded by an Akshauhini of Rakshasa warriors who were armed with maces, spears, rocks, and trees. They advanced into battle with roars which shook the earth. Seeing him advance, Ashvatthama came before Ghatotkacha. Proud of his own ability with weapons, Ashvatthama stood unmoving as the Rakshasas approached. Ghatotkacha laughed and used his mystic powers to make a shower of rocks fall upon Ashvatthama and the soldiers supporting him. With the stones fell arrows, spears, axes, and clubs. Releasing an arrow charged with mantras, Ashvatthama checked the downpour. Ghatotkacha then released 50 shafts which dug into Ashvatthama's armor and body. Drona's son, maintaining his equilibrium, replied with a dozen arrows of his own, which cut into Ghatotkacha. Rocked by the assault, Ghatotkacha took up a 1,000-spoke wheel with a razor-sharp edge. It shone like fire and was studded with gems. Spinning it, Ghatotkacha hurled the wheel at Ashvatthama. But with 20 crescent-headed shafts, Ashvatthama broke the wheel to pieces. It fell uselessly to the ground, like the purposes of a man under the influence of adverse destiny. Ghatotkacha followed the attack with a volley of shafts which completely covered Ashvatthama. Ghatotkacha's son, Anjanaparva, then came to the assistance of his father and joined the assault on Ashvatthama. Anjanaparva attacked Ashvatthama with hundreds of long arrows fitted with barbed heads soaked in oil. Swallowed up by all these shafts, Ashvatthama appeared like Mount Meru drenched by a shower of rain. his chariot driver swiftly wheeled his chariot around, and as he came clear of the onslaught, Ashvatthama released an arrow which cut down Anjanaparva's flag standard, and with 2 more shafts, Ashvatthama slew the 2 chariot drivers of Anjanaparva. Ashvatthama then killed his horses, and with another razor-faced arrow cut apart the bow of Anjanaparva. Anjanaparva was forced to leap from his chariot, brandishing a scimitar embellished with golden stars. But he had hardly fixed his gaze on Ashvatthama before Drona's son cut the weapon apart with 3 arrows. Anjanaparva then took up a mace bedecked with gold. Swinging it around, Anjanaparva hurled it at Ashvatthama, who broke it to pieces with his arrows. Anjanaparva then jumped into the sky, raining down trees and rocks onto his opponent. And at the same time, Ghatotkacha fired thousands of fire-tipped shafts at Ashvatthama. But simultaneously countering Ghatotkacha's attack, as well as the fighting of Anjanaparva, Ashvatthama shot arrows into the air, which pierced Anjanaparva all over his body. And as the Rakshasa descended to the ground, Ashvatthama released a broad-headed shaft with all of his strength. Empowered by mantra, the shaft tore off Anjanaparva's head, which fell to the earth like a black boulder, with its bright earrings gleaming like seams of gold. Now, shaking with grief and rage, Ghatotkacha roared, "Stand and fight! You will not escape alive from me today!" O Ghatotkacha, O celestial powerful one, you should fight with others. As you are the offspring of Bhimasena, you are like my son. So it isn't proper for me to fight you, nor do I feel angry with you. Now leave, while I still feel kindly disposed towards you. For a man excited by rage may kill even his own self. But Ghatotkacha became even more incensed, and he seemed to blaze as he bellowed back, "What are you saying? Am I some ordinary man that you are trying to frighten with your words? I am the emperor of the Rakshasas, and my prowess is no less than that of the 10-headed Ravana. O son of Drona, stay for just only a moment more, and I will put an end to your life." Now maddened, Ghatotkacha fired his long arrows at Ashvatthama, but Drona's son struck them all down before they could even reach him. Both warriors released clouds of arrows which appeared to fight each other in the sky. The shafts collided, creating sparks and fire which illuminated the battlefield. And by his mystic power, Ghatotkacha disappeared from view, and then suddenly assumed the shape of a towering mountain abounding in peaks and trees. At its summit was a fountain which incessantly showered spears, darts, swords, and heavy clubs. Now remaining calm, Ashvatthama invoked the Vajra weapon, which destroyed all of the Rakshasas' illusions. Ghatotkacha again appeared in the sky, now wielding his bow. With his numerous gold ornaments, Ghatotkacha seemed like a blue cloud adorned with a rainbow. Ghatotkacha invoked a weapon which sent a thick shower of rocks onto Ashvatthama. The heavy stones shook the earth as they fell. Reciting ancient incantations, Ashvatthama at once invoked the Vayavya weapon. Unlimited numbers of arrows flew from his bow, smashing all the rocks as they fell from the sky. With the divine wind weapon, Ashvatthama went on to assail the Rakshasa army and destroyed thousands of them. Ghatotkacha returned to the ground and mounted his chariot. He was surrounded by a host of Rakshasas who had the heads of lions and tigers, and they rode upon fearful-looking animals. He then charged Ashvatthama, who stood firm as the hordes rushed towards him, screaming in discordant voices. Led by the son of Bhimasena, they appeared like an army of hideous-looking ghosts and spirits with Rudradev at their head. Ghatotkacha then released 10 arrows, which struck Ashvatthama like thunderbolts. Ashvatthama rocked in his chariot, but kept his balance. Ghatotkacha fired another shaft, which broke Ashvatthama's bow, but he strung another one in a matter of seconds. By means of celestial weapons, Ashvatthama shot hundreds of thousands of sky-ranging arrows with golden wings. Sorely oppressed by those arrows, the Rakshasa forces looked like a herd of elephants attacked by a lion. The shafts fell upon their broad chests and arms, piercing through their armor and digging into their leathery skins. Ashvatthama then became like Lord Shiva when he had destroyed the powerful Tripura Asura in a long past age. His celestial weapons claimed the lives of countless Rakshasas. More and more of the demons then appeared on the battlefield, rising up from the nether regions to join Ghatotkacha. They rushed in a body at Ashvatthama, wielding spiked maces, scimitars, clubs, lances, axes, and many weapons unknown to men. The Rakshasas hurled them at Drona's son and roared exultantly. Seeing all the weapons falling upon Ashvatthama, the Kauravas now felt distressed. But Drona's son soon dispelled the attack with thousands of his own arrows. Ashvatthama then emerged from the shower of missiles and destroyed the Rakshasas with his celestial weapons. Fiery darts from his bow consumed the Rakshasa army. Ashvatthama thus annihilated the forces of Ghatotkacha. With his eyes rolling in anger, Ghatotkacha ordered his chariot driver to charge Ashvatthama. He discharged arrows like poisonous serpents at Ashvatthama, checking his attack. Completely covering Drona's son with arrows resembling long barbed poles, Ghatotkacha sent up a great roar. Other warriors now entered the fight, some supporting Ghatotkacha and others supporting Ashvatthama. Drishtadyumna came up to Ghatotkacha, while Shukuni and his followers supported Ashvatthama. Drupada and his army attacked the Kauravas who were surrounding Duryodhana, with Bhima following Duryodhana on his chariot, with his mace whirling as he rushed into battle. As a fervent battle ensued between the armies, Ashvatthama suddenly released a shaft which looked like the rod held by death personified. Charged with the force of Indra's thunderbolt, it struck Ghatotkacha on his chest and threw him to the ground. Drishtadyumna saw him fall and quickly took Ghatotkacha up onto his chariot, carrying him away. Enechi aushadhi maya nahi baro lagi Harinama Maha Mantra. Thou to me, Magi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Maha-Bharata, Second Part, Chapter 20, The Night Battle. Scene 1. Bhima smashes Balika on the forehead. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. As the sun approached the western hills, Satyaki once again encountered Somadatta. He told his chariot driver to steer him towards the Kuru. His time has now come, and I will not return from this battle without slaying Somadatta. But without fear, Somadatta confronted Satyaki, and the two Kshatriyas pierced one another with snake-like arrows. They roared furiously and encircled one another, each maintaining a fierce assault on his opponent. And with blood running from their many wounds, they looked like a couple of King Shuka trees in full bloom. Casting angry glances, the heroes fought relentlessly, looking for any weakness in the other. Somadatta's father, Palika, rode up to assist his son, and seeing this, Bhimasena came to the aid of Satyaki. Balika met Bhima with a volley of arrows, and shrugging off the shafts, which were deflected by his thick armor, Bhima raised his bow. Bhima then shot hundreds of long arrows at Balika, but the old warrior cut them down mid-flight. Balika retaliated with a long steel shaft fitted with a barbed point. Fired with all of Balika's power, the arrow struck Bhima on the chest, piercing his armor. Bhima trembled and swooned. Now regaining his senses as Balika closed in to press on his advantage, Bhima took up an iron mace and hurled it at Balika. It sped through the air like a fireball and struck Balika on the forehead. The old Kuru general died instantly, falling headlong from his chariot. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Part 2. Satyaki splits Somadatta's heart in two. Still fighting with Satyaki, Somadatta cried out in grief as his father died. Somadatta then trained his arrows on Bhimasena, but Satyaki showered Somadatta with shafts and drew him away from Bhima. Somadatta fought in a frenzy. He cut Satyaki's bow in two with a broad-headed arrow and struck Satyaki with countless more. Satyaki then took up another bow and with a volley of shafts cut down Somadatta's flag standard and killed his chariot driver and horses. Somadatta stood his ground and covered Satyaki with arrows, which flew in straight lines from his bow. Satyaki then raised a spear, hurling it at the chest of Somadatta with all of his power. But Somadatta cut the iron lance with his arrows as it made its way towards him. Screaming in anger, Satyaki again cracked his opponent's bow, and at the same time, Satyaki smashed Somadatta's armor with a number of crescent-headed shafts. Now, seeing his opponent momentarily stunned, Satyaki took up a long arrow which resembled a golden spear. He fixed it to his bow and charged it with mantras, and that shaft hit Somadatta in the chest and split his heart into two. Somadatta fell from his chariot like a shala tree severed at its root. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Part 3. Karna's offensive mentality. The Kauravas wailed in anguish, and so, seizing the advantage, the Pandavas' forces pressed the Kauravas back with a brutal assault. Headed by Bhima, Yudhishthir, and the twins, they flew against their dispirited foes with furious yells. At this time, Duryodhan went over to Karna. The time has now come when your friends seek your assistance, and you are ever devoted to your friends. O Karna, save my soldiers. The Pandavas are roaring in ecstasy, crushing our forces just as Indra crushes the Asura demons. O King, I will soon destroy the Pandavas. Now be reassured. The time has come for me to kill Arjuna, and with him gone, Arjuna's brothers will be finished, and your victory assured. So I will employ the unfailing dart which Indra gave to me. Now give up your sorrow. After killing Arjuna, I will destroy all your other enemies and hand you this earth. And now roaring, Karna broke away from Duryodhan. He looked at the dart which was secure in its golden case, which was at the front of his chariot. So far, no opportunity had arisen for Karna to use it. Arjuna had always been engaged in some other part of the battle, but things were coming to a head now. The war was reaching its climax, and all the great fighters would soon meet in fights to the finish. Karna would challenge Arjuna to single combat. One way or another, it would be their final encounter. Kripa Acharya was nearby and overheard Karna's words, but he laughed. Well spoken, O son of Radha. Surely Duryodhan would consider himself successful if only words were sufficient. O hero, we have yet to see your words backed by action. Whenever you have encountered the Pandavas, you have been defeated. Kripa reminded Karna of the incident with the Gandharvas in the forest and the battle with Virata. Your boasts are like the roaring of rainless autumn clouds. They will cease the moment you face Partha in battle. Roar now while you are still beyond the range of his arrows. For when you are pierced by the shafts of Bibutsu, you will be silent forever. Why do you revile me, O Brahmana? Wise men who know their own power roar and speak of their strength. In this way they gain inspiration to perform great deeds. You will soon see the proof of my boasts when I slay Vijay together with Keshava, Drishtadyumna, and all of their followers. Oh, Karna, your words are little more than a madman's ravings. Arjuna cannot be slain by any creature within the three worlds, nor can the virtuous Yudhisthira be conquered. Simply by his angry glance, Yudhisthira could, if he so desired, consume all beings. It is only Yudhishthira's compassion and piety that allows us to live. Krishna always protects Yudhisthira and his brothers, and no one can know or even approach Krishna. It is only your impudence which allows you to think that you can face Arjuna in battle. O Acharya, no doubt your words are true. The Pandavas are all this and more. But yet I am greater, and I will still vanquish my enemy. So do not underestimate me, considering me an ordinary man. For I still have in my possession Indra's infallible dart that will kill whomever I hurl it at. Indra himself told me such. The words of the gods are never futile. So my plan is to direct this dart at Arjuna. And when I slay Dhananjaya, he will join his father in heaven. And his brothers will then be incapable of continuing the fight. So this is why I roar, O weak Brahmana, seeing our imminent victory. O Brahmana, I am losing control of my temper. I accuse you of favoring the Pandavas, and so I threaten to cut out your tongue if you again speak in such a way. I see no real prowess in the feats of the Pandavas. We are also destroying their forces. The very fact that great heroes like Bhishma, Bhagadatta, Bhurishrava, Somadatta, Jayadrata, and others now lie dead on the battlefield is only due to fate. How could the Pandavas have slain such men, especially in the presence of Drona Acharya, you, Duryodhan, other heroes, and what to speak of myself? No, only adverse destiny is to blame. But you, the lowest of men, choose to praise our enemies. Now you will soon see their actual power when the Pandavas meet me in battle. Meanwhile, Ashvathama heard Karna insulting his maternal uncle. Drona's son had never had much time for Karna, who showed little respect for his elders. Now Karna had gone too far. Kripa Acharya was a Brahmin and the teacher of the Kurus. He did not deserve to be mistreated by the chariot driver's son. Ashvathama took out his sword and jumped down from his chariot, roaring at Karna. How dare you speak like this, fool? The Acharya spoke the truth about Arjuna and his brothers. And because you are envious, you could not tolerate it. O wretched of a chariot driver, you brag too much and do little. We have already seen your power when matched against Arjuna. Why, even the celestials and Asura demons could not overcome Arjuna, And still you hope to somehow or other defeat Jishnu yourself? Besides his own strength, Bibhatsu has the unconquerable Ajita Krishna as his ally. O vilest of men, I will not stand by as you insult my uncle. Now, stand before me, for I will cut off your head from your body. Karna then came down from his chariot to meet Ashvatthama's challenge. Seeing two of his most powerful fighters ready to fight to death, Duryodhana became alarmed. He ran forward and stood between them, placing a hand on each of their shoulders. Karna drew out his sword and said, "O best of the Kurus, stand aside. This one of evil understanding shall now taste my power." Still holding on to both men, Duryodhana replied, "O Ashvatthama, please forgive him. Do not be angry with Karna. The Pandavas are right now shouting out their battle cries, coming at us from all sides, and I need the both of you if we are to overpower them. So be pacified." Seeing Duryodhana's anxiety, Ashvatthama calmed himself and said, "I forgive you, Karna. Kiriti will soon enough crush your swelling pride." Reluctantly, Karna pulled away from Duryodhana, lowering his sword. Still seething, Karna glared back at Ashvatthama. Kripa Acharya, who was naturally of mild disposition, then said, "O wicked-minded Karna, I also forgive you. But it is still a fact, Arjuna will soon destroy your arrogance." Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Part 4. Karna fights Bhimasena. While these Kuru chiefs had been speaking, the battle raged all around them. The exultant Pandava forces had pushed forward and were routing the Kauravas. Still furious from Ashvatthama's rebuke, Karna looked around at the Pandava troops. It was time to show his full power. Karna remounted his chariot and charged into the fray. Drawing back his long bow to his ear, Karna began to release shafts which flew like fire-tipped rockets. Chariot drivers and horsemen fell by the hundreds as the arrows whistled from Karna's bow. Some of the Pandava warriors shouted out, "Oh, here is Karna! Karna, O most sinful of men, give us battle! This crooked-minded man is the root of all evils. He deserves to be killed by every king who values virtue. Arrogant and sinful, Karna abides by the order of Duryodhana alone. Slay him at once." Yudhishthir marshaled his troops into a force which surrounded Karna. Thousands of warriors rained down arrows, darts, lances, and iron balls covered with flaming oil. Seeing himself assailed by so many warriors, Karna displayed his skill as he whirled about on his chariot, countering their attack. Thousands of weapons dropped uselessly to the earth as Karna fearlessly cut them to pieces with his arrows. Shaking their bows and roaring, the Pandavas stepped up their attack. they covered Karna with a mass of arrows which screened Karna from their view. But Karna broke through the assault by firing his own shafts with blinding speed. Coming clear of the shower of weapons, Karna launched a counter-offensive. Karna mowed down the Pandava troops, sending arrows inspired by mantra. Karna slew thousands of warriors at a time. And as Karna ranged about like the sun planet pouring forth scorching rays at noontime, the Pandava army cried out. They looked about for a protector and ran here and there in fear. Then suddenly Bhimasena rushed forward and challenged Karna. Karna clenched his teeth and shot a powerful shaft which cut down Bhima's flag standard. As the tall pole fell, Karna fired 4 more arrows which killed Bhima's horses. And with another 5 shafts, Karna pierced Vishoka, who leaped down and ran across to Satyaki's chariot, arrows protruding from his body. Incensed, Bhima took up a long, steel-tipped lance. Balancing it in his hand, Bhima hurled it with all of his power. But Karna cut it down with simply 10 arrows. And as the fragments of the lance fell to the ground, Bhima took up now a resplendent sword and a shield decorated with 100 moons. Bhima leaped from his chariot and rushed at Karna, who destroyed the shield with a dozen razor-faced arrows. Undaunted, Bhima flung the sword, and it flew at Karna like a dart, hitting his bow, cutting it into 2. Karna then took up another bow, aiming hundreds of arrows at Bhima. Bhima bounded high into the air, landing next to Karna's chariot. Seeing Bhima appear like Yamaraj himself, Karna ducked down in his chariot. His chariot driver urged on the horses, and the chariot pulled away from Bhimasena. Karna stood once again on the terrace of his chariot and launched 50 steel arrows at Bhima, almost as if they were one. Pierced by the shafts, Bhima ran into the midst of an elephant division. Simply with blows from his fists, Bhima felled a number of the beasts, surrounding himself with their bodies just to protect himself from Karna's chariot. Seeing Karna still trying to reach him, Bhima lifted one of the elephants and tossed it at Karna. Karna cut the elephant to pieces with his arrows and continued his attack. Karna rained down shafts, trying to slay Bhima, who at this time had no weapon. But Bhima nimbly dodged Karna's arrows and leaped into the air. Maddened, Bhima hurled horses, chariots, elephant limbs, and anything else he could find on the battlefield. But Karna was able to cut everything to pieces with his arrows. Bhima practically was breathing fire. He knew he could kill the chariot driver's son with his bare hands, but Bhima wanted to respect Arjuna's vow. Therefore, it was not yet time for Karna to be killed. Deciding now to leave the fight, Bhima came out from behind the elephants and ran towards the other Pandava warriors. But Karna would not relent. He struck Bhima with hundreds of powerful shafts, which checked Bhima's progress on the field. But remembering his promise to Kunti Devi, Karna did not attempt to kill Bhimasena. Karna knew he could only kill one Pandava, Arjuna. Karna then rode over to Bhima, hitting him on the head with the end of his bow, and then laughingly said, O ignorant and impotent fool! Go and fight with others. You are no match for a real man. Your only prowess lies in eating. The battlefield is no place for a boy like you. Rather, you should renounce a warrior's life and remain in the forest. Go now, while I am still inclined towards you. Go find Arjuna and Krishna and ask for their protection. Controlling himself with difficulty, Bhimasena replied, You wicked fool! I have repeatedly defeated you, and it is only by your fate that you still live. How can you indulge in such vain bragging? Even if you defeated me, what would that prove? The ancients have seen even Indra's victories and defeats. Come down now from your chariot and wrestle with me if you dare. I will show you how I killed Kichak. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namaste Narasimhaya, Prahlad Ahlad Dayane, Hiranya Kashi Puravaksha, Shilatankana Kalaye, Ito Nursingha Parato Nursingho, Yato Yato Yamitato Nursingha, Bahir Nursingho, Hridai Nursingho, Nursingham Ading Sharanam Prapadye, Namaste Narasimhaya, Nrsimham Ading Sharanam Prapadye, Nrsimham Ading Sharanam Prapadye, Chabakara Kamala Hare Nakam Adhuta Sringam, Dalita Hiranyakashipo Chanubringam, Keshavadrita Nara Harirupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Tabakara Kamala Hare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam, Dalita Hiranyakashipu Chanubringam, Keshavadrita Nursingha Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jagadisha Hare. Keshavadrita Narahadi Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadisha Hare. Jaya Jagadish, Jaya Jagadish, Jaya Jagadish.